We're going to go through 3 questions just in preparation for our Trigo revision class next week, okay? So please help me to try this. Only if you cannot get the answers, then you refer to the video, right? Don't just watch movie like that, Okay, so all this over here, all the answers are in the worksheet already, okay? Okay, let's start with the basic level one. Always remember, when you're supposed to find the angles, make sure you check whether it's degree or radian. For all this over here, we're just going to do basic understanding. So I put all in degree lah, so it's easier. So calculator in degree mode, okay? Okay, so we're going to find all the angles, and then you're going to see the range from here. So what we have from here is nothing too fancy. Okay, what we're always going to do is we're going to do step by step, which is step one. Step one, right? Always determine the quadrant from here. So you're all science teacher crazy or add sugar to coffee. So first quadrant, everything is positive. Second quadrant, only sign is positive. Third quadrant, tangent positive. Fourth quadrant, cosine positive. So this is sine, and you can see it's positive, right? So we're looking at the first 2 quadrants. So that's always your step one. Okay, so when you're doing your step 2, find your basic angle. Remember, where's the basic angle? So if I'm going to draw your basic angle for you, right, it will always be this teeny weeny little thing here. Okay, all this small thing here. So it's the same size, right? Okay, but one thing to note is always look at them. They are always acute and always positive from here. So whenever we do inverse trigo, right, we always do our inverse of just the positive version will do. Okay, so when I do this inverse sine 0.88, I'll get a string of numbers, right? Final answer, I just want it in 1 decimal place because this is in degree, right? So I'm going to do a little bit more. 61.6423. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit more for this one. All right. Okay, then now we can finally go and see from here. So this one here, they want 720. So like that, one round is 360, right? So what we have is we're just going to do our typical one first, which is we can find x, right? So my first one is 61.6423. 61.6423, and my second quadrant is 180 minus this, right? Okay, then from here, all right, we can calculate real quick first. So if you want, you can always just put down this 61.6 because it's 1 decimal place. This one 180 minus 61.6423. So this is actually 118.4, 1 decimal place, right? Okay, but what you need to know is look at the range. The range is so big, right? So when you see 720, right, you must understand it's 2 cycles. So when you have 2 cycles, right, what you have here is that you're going to add 360 to this one because you want to go one more round, right? So is this at first this is your first angle. You want to go like that until you come back like that. So technically, if you see, right, what you actually added was you added this entire thing from here. Oh, it disappeared, but it's 360. Okay, so then this one over here, you also go and add 360. So we have more answers from here. So when I add 360, 61.6 plus 360, this is 421.6. The other one, if I take that 118.4 plus 360, right? This one here will be 478.4. Okay, if they're asking for even bigger and you go one more round, then you add another 360 from here. Okay, so your proper presentation from here, if you have to, right, you can write down these two first because you can see, right? Maybe you can then after that you can write all the possible angles, which is you just show all 4 from here. Okay, so this one here a little bit tedious. So what we will do is let me just put that in. Okay, I put that in another color. 61.6423 plus 360. That's one more, right? This one here is 180 minus 61.6423, then plus 360. That's how you end up here. This one over here, just help me to bracket 1 decimal place. So when you're doing a trigonometry question, remember, number 1, determine the quadrant. Number 2, find the basic angle. Number 3, just make sure you have all of the possible answers from there. Okay, so this one is the done already. Okay. Okay, now we look at the second one. So your second one over here, right? Okay, they are saying find all the angles So find all the angles. So you have this one here, which is technically one cycle, right? So which satisfy this one, this equation here. So step one, we do the same thing. This is ASTC. So what we have is tangent is negative. So when tangent is positive, is this two, right? So the other two. So it will be my second as well as my fourth quadrant. Okay, second as well as the fourth. So that's step one. Step two, find your basic angle. You see, basic angle, you just remember, okay? Tangent inverse 1.35, not negative. Understand or not? Tangent inverse 1. Only take the positive one. So 53.471. So what I want you to understand is this is 2x, correct or not? So when I put in my 2x, okay, 2x over here. So I press calculator, okay? So what I have here is that 180. Wait, let me just store that thing. Wait, tangent inverse 1.35. Okay, I'm going to store it. You know how to store? There's a STO button on your calculator. So I'm going to store it as A. Okay, you can do the same thing if you don't want to keep pressing the number lah. All right. So I want second quadrant. So second quadrant is 180 minus that basic angle, which is 126.528. Then after that, you want the fourth quadrant, which is 360 minus the basic angle. So that is 306.528. So what happens here is that what I want you to note is when you see a 2x like that, okay, it means that when you eventually you need to divide by 2. Can you see that? So your angles will become smaller. When you divide by 2, this is 60 plus. This is 150 plus, which means I should go one more round just to check whether they fall in the range or not. So over here, same thing. I'm going to add 360. Okay, so that 126.528 plus 360. This is 486.528. This one also go one more round. Okay, to add 360. 306.528. 306.528 plus 360. So this one over here is 666.528. Then now you just need to divide by 2. Okay, everybody divide by 2 because you want x only, right? So if you never find the extra quadrant, right, you got a lot of missing answers from there. Okay, so let's say if I divide by 2, 126.528 divided by 2, 63.3, one decimal place. 306.528 divided by 2, that's 153.3, one decimal place also. 486.528 divided by 2, 243.3. Last one, 666.528 divided by 2. This is 333.3. So everything here in one decimal place. Okay, so if you are realizing that you're always losing marks, right, it's because you never check the final answer at the end, whether it fits inside the range or not. You see they want 360, right? Eventually you'll be quite close to 360. If I stop here, it's a little bit far away. So you go and help me to go and find one more round. Okay, so this is for the second one. So two things to note here. The first thing is when you see this one negative, right? When you inverse, right, you don't inverse the negative. Second thing is when you see you need to divide by 2, divide by 3, right? Please go and check for more answers, more cycles from there. Okay? Okay, last one. Okay, this one is the last kind of question, the easy kinds, okay? So what we have here is that we have sine, cosine square, we have sine, right? You can only solve if it's sine, cosine, tangent. So what we have from here is you need to change some stuff, and we know that 2 cosine square is actually 1 minus sine square. Okay, 1 minus sine square. So you got to change identity from here. So when you do this, remember you cannot just divide things by both sides, okay? Because like x, like for example, x square minus x equals to 0, right? When you factorize, right, you cannot just say, okay, don't want you like that. No, you cannot. There's one possible solution can be equals to 0. So same for trigo, right? So we're going to expand this. Minus 2 sine square x, bring over this one, minus 3 sine x plus 2 equals to 0. Okay, I'm going to just divide the whole thing by negative 1, so it's easier. This one will be plus 3 sine x minus 2 equals to 0. Doesn't this look like a quadratic equation to you? So if it looks like a quadratic, just help me to check what can you factorize it into. So you will end up with negative 2 and this one here. So that means this one here will be, just now was negative 2, right? So that is sine x plus 2 equals 0. Sorry, sine x plus 2. The other one is 2 sine x minus 1. Do like your normal algebra. Okay? So some teachers, they will ask you to do one more step. Like replace sine x with y or something. Up to you. If you need to, you can do that. Okay? So this is equals to 0. 2 sine x minus 1 equals to 0. So sine x equals to minus 2. This one sine x equals to half. Okay, so when you reach this point already, same thing, we have so many things going on here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my ASTC first. ASTC, ASTC. So your sign is negative, which is this 2. Your sign is positive, which is this 2, right? So doing my basic angle, I'm going to write this in gray. I explain to you why later. I'm going to sine inverse 2, not negative 2. So you see, when I sign inverse 2, right, your calculator will show you math error. Okay, but mine shows an I, right? So what does this math error mean? This math error is because, right, if let's say I have a sine graph, right, my sine graph, you realize that my maximum value is 1, my minimum value is negative 1. So that means I cannot go above 1, I cannot go below negative 1. That's why when it's equals to negative 2, right, by right, there's no solution. But when I was a student, right, I don't understand why is there no solution, right? But when I press the calculator and I get a math error, okay, very quickly, I will know, this one must reject. Then faster erase this part here. Don't let people see already. Don't let them know you went to try from there. Okay? So, but this side is okay. So let's continue for this side here. So my alpha is just sine inverse half. All right. So when I do sine inverse half, I just get a 30 degrees. Okay, so this one here, what they want? They just want 360, so one cycle only, right? So that means my x is 30 for my first quadrant. Second quadrant will be 180 minus 30. So it's 30 and 150. Okay, then if you scared, right, then you see, oh, because cannot be third and fourth quadrant, right? Let's say you want to go one more round. So you add 360. This is 390. 390 I want or not? Don't want. So that means at the end of the day, just this one is my answer already. Okay, so what's the learning point for this question? Is that your trigonometry, right? You can solve as quadratic one. That's the first thing. Second thing is when you do this part here and you get a math error, right? You will know that you're going to reject the answer already. Don't worry so much. Okay, so just remember your max for sine and cosine is always 1. Minimum is negative 1. Okay, so other than that, okay, then you're ready for class next week.